Hi all, welcome to the Tina Cloud and TinaCMS Sprint 109 Review Retro and the Sprint 110 forecast. So first we'll be going through the review. So for our sprint goals, we have the branch aware media epic, which was completed by myself and Ivan. Yeah, so there was just that last piece of work that Ivan was working on. You want to speak to that?
Yeah, so we needed to support the editorial workflow through the media manager, which was a bit challenging. Initially, we thought we could do it through the client side, then it was very flaky, so we had to implement the orchestration on the server side and then test it very thoroughly to make sure we're not missing anything that supports the old flow as well. And now it's all done and dusted. And we're going to enable it on rules first to test an internal project. And if that goes well, we are going to roll it out to everyone sometime this week.
Awesome. That's great. Will it come with a video?
Yeah, I began work on that video.
Who is?
Me.
Oh, you. Okay, great.
Yeah. Sweet. And also we have the V4 foundation work being started. Jack.
Yeah, so this is pretty exciting. We've spec'd up kind of a big brain dump of everything into a kind of a document repo that we're kind of going through and reviewing. So it'd be an interesting experiment as well to see if how well we've written it and if AI can use it for tasks later down the line. But we've also started adding and kind of scaffolding some of the structure of the V4 code inside of the TinaCMS repo. So there'll be quite a few more PRs coming up this week and going forward. So very exciting.
Now, I know that Matt spoke to Jeff, the original guy from Tina, on this one. And I am conscious of it. I don't want it to be bigger than Ben-Hur. Can I just ask a specific example about, say, something that was hard to do in the old one, when people autosave? Now, that will be nailed in the new one. Why will it be nailed in the new one?
Yeah, so yeah, autosaving will definitely be something we're adding. So previously though, what was kind of stopping us adding it in this one was unfortunately the form system as a core. It had unfortunately a lot of side effects from previous state management and custom state management. So tracking those across the code base is just really difficult. And when a validation runs, sometimes it doesn't always run. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't save, sometimes state is marked as dirty, or sometimes it's not marked as dirty. So it was just unreliable, and we couldn't get it to a point that was a good, consistent experience for autosaving to work. So in V4, we're kind of it is a bit scary, but we are rebuilding the form system, so we won't have those side effects from custom state management. We're going to be using Zustand, which is kind of the industry standard for that type of stuff, and then also React hook forms, which is also another big industry standard. So yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Cool. Moving on. So for Tina Cloud, we had 131 hours billed to myself, Brooke, Ivan, Thomas. No, that's not right. I'll need to redo that. Yeah, these dates are wrong.
Can you just put a to-do on it before you send it?
Yeah. Do update hours.
Who's it missing?
No, I think the date ranges are wrong.
It's the wrong month. So you've done April.
Yeah, it's April.
Right.
I know why it was defaulted to April, but yeah. Anyway, for the sprint backlog, so the key ones to note was the polished Astro starter, which Josh did, but since he's not here, I will walk us through that. So you can see here we have the new Astro starter template, which we have hosted on a Vercel. But you can, yeah, it's all polished. Yeah, all around. The team loves it. We have been having a lot of upticks in people using the Astro template. So, yeah, I think community loves it. You know, the developers love it. So, I think it's at a good state to start marketing, and we can now progress on making Astro our default starter, which is outlined in the Astro blog, which we got mentioned in the May newsletter. So you can see
awesome.
what's new in Astro. You can see we're on the main heading. And yeah, we just have a wee mention here saying Astro goes default, which links to Matt's blog post about how we are wanting Astro to become the default starter. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Can you scroll down?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Referring to the poll. Yep.
Yeah.
So these have yet to be posted on the socials, but I should be doing that today.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Brooke.
But yeah, the team is happy with all this.
Can I see the rest? Can you just quickly scroll in?
Yeah, keep scrolling. Then we just have the code on how to set it up.
Right. Okay.
I think,
And how many people have tested it?
The blog. Matt wrote it. I rewrote it. Eli had a bit of to do with it. The
I'm talking
renaming
about the
that
Astro
Tiago.
template.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool
the
team, I
Astro
think.
template. Yeah, I think all round. Jack, Josh,
Well,
I think
the whole of
Isaac did.
Matt, Isaac. Yeah, everybody had a hands in it.
I think since Jack's improved the performance on it, we can get the Lighthouse scores on this blog post as well. Should be good.
Oh, right. Okay, that's a good point. Okay. Yeah. Are we going to change any Next.js sites to Astro?
Not right now. There's
Okay.
there's a return on investment. And some of these sites are pretty big. So the ones that I would be looking at are like the Tina site would be a good example where we could change it over, because we're certainly getting we're chewing through our Vercel budget pretty quickly. But changing that over is not a trivial task.
Yeah, on that, I've been I've got some tokens to burn, so I've been seeing how far the agent can go, doing that in the background, and I've got some visual regression, so I can try and make it match pretty exactly. But it's not something that I'm focusing on, or it's not a goal or anything. But yeah. I've started looking at porting Tina site.
I think if we were to do it for the Tina website, I'd break apart the marketing and blog from the product documentation and have them separate, because it's wearing too many hats at the moment. And if we reduce the number of hats, then it's most probably feasible.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah. So everybody's very happy about that on team.
Now, everybody that did free lunch last week for SSW should have tried out the Astro template. So hopefully there was some feedback from that event.
Yeah. Next we have work that Brooke did on the delete account UI. I'll speak to that, Brooke.
So the current process for users to delete their own accounts was very painful and very manual. Essentially, we had no way of telling a user how to delete their account properly. So we would have lots of requests in the Discord, and we can't process those for delete accounts. They need to go through the support Tina email, so we can verify the email of the account they want to delete. So I've gone ahead and added a account deletion request button on the user UI. This will, once clicked, disable their account and log them out of the front end, as well as send them, BCCing support at Tina, a email telling them their account's going to be deleted in the next 72 hours. Although the process for us is still pretty manual, we'll have to go through those and still delete them. It does take the burden off the user for them to have to manually find the right place to do that. The goal is to continually improve this and create some internal tooling around deleting the accounts. And then eventually we'd hope for this process to be fully automatic.
Okay.
Yeah, I love this because I'm the one who does the manual deleting of the accounts. So progress towards this is a lifesaver for me. Next, we have the work that we were mentioning before around triggering the editorial workflow for media branch uploads and deletion. Ivan?
Yes, I guess I already touched on that, but I tried to do the UI in a way that it looks exactly the same as the content flow, so the user doesn't see any difference at all. And I think I did a pretty good job on that.
Yep. So yeah,
it's basically pixel identical to the content flow, and it creates all the same stuff. Creates the PRs, Git authoring works in the exact same way. So yeah, pretty good.
love that. Cool. And just wanted to mention the work that Jack is starting on the V4. Do you want to talk about that, Jack?
Yeah, so there'll be, as I was kind of saying, a bunch of new PRs coming up, kind of just saying, hey, we're deprecating all these old packages that we're, no longer going to be using in version 4, just kind of laying the groundworks there. Obviously not removing anything just yet, but just, laying that groundwork so we can have a smooth transition over later down the line. So yeah, we have a lot of packages, and there's a lot of code that is no longer used anymore, but it's still kind of just sitting around. So yeah, it's good to kind of get rid of that tech debt before we move on to the new one.
As you're doing this, Jack, are you thinking actually we could do some of this now and release Tina updates rather than do it all in V4?
Kind of. I'm just at the moment marking stuff down with kind of a reminder to, hey, come back in X amount of time, and then we can actually remove this from the public APIs. But like if there is stuff that I can remove, I'm removing it.
Oh, you are?
If it's
Okay,
been there for a
which
while,
is making the V4 job smaller.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. I don't have it highlighted, but we did do some work on the CLI. But it was just some initial stuff that Brooke and Isaac have completed. So work towards that, which we'll see down in the epics section, progress on the epics. But for the sprint,
sorry, can I ask you a couple of questions? Can you tell me the story with Playwright and the testing?
Yeah. So
I see Ben's done it. I thought Kaha was doing it.
No, Ben was doing the Playwright.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just some end-to-end flows for the auth. So we thought it would be good to add some Playwright tests in for that. So when we do the migration from Cognito to WorkOS, we would have some tests in place to show any regressions.
Now, I think you have some code coverage stats, right?
No.
Oh, you don't have any stats, right?
So I think the test you mentioned is for TinaCMS, but this one is specific for Tina Cloud project.
Oh, okay. All right. And do you have any metrics at all? Like adding all these Playwright tests should have improved your automated code coverage.
Admittedly, we haven't put it up to display it somewhere in the pipeline or anywhere else. I've added the coverage tool to the project, but we still need to actually surface that information somewhere. So that hasn't been done yet, but yeah, we should do it.
Okay. Yeah. Obviously, I probably would have tried to add the metrics first, then add the playwright tests, and then see if your metrics improved.
Yeah, the initial metrics were in single digits. So
yes, I knew they weren't good. Yeah, I was aware. Okay. There has been most of the other projects now have an MCP. Are you guys doing that? Any talk?
It was we looked at doing it initially. It was blocked by the auth story, and that's partially why WorkOS is being looked into, because they have an MCP auth story.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's good.
Cool.
And on Discord, has there been much talk about Astro?
Discord? No, there wasn't too much mention of Astro, but we did
A lot
have
of reactions
mention
to
on
the.
it.
Oh, you
Yeah.
put the blog post there, did you?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe we made an announcement to it, and people were reacting with heart emojis.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
people loved it.
Did you put the mention from the Astro site?
No,
Oh,
we have
I
not.
would put that. I think it's worthy use.
Yeah, we're discussing adding it to the socials, so that would be a part of it.
Okay. All right. Good.
Cool.
Yeah, the just as a comment, the Discord's not so chatty. It's more, most of the activity is just support.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Moving on for our sprint burn up, we had 70 closed, but we have still 41 open. Production deployments, we had 3 deployments for TinaCloud and 2 releases for TinaCMS. Application health overview timeline, the identity API 500s stayed constant at 15, and the content API 500s decreased from 3K to 2K. I'm sure that's due to some of the improvements I've done, but not the big decrease that I wanted. So I'm going to continue work on decreasing that further. TinaCloud post-log metrics, you want to take that away, Brooke?
Yep. So over the last month, we had 28,846 commits globally. When we're looking at the last couple of months since December, this has been one of our highest months, which is awesome to see. Looking at the onboarding funnels that we have, user onboarding has unfortunately has remained at 8%, sorry, while our collaborator onboarding has decreased from 22 to 20%. Looking at the projects and organizations created over the last 7 days, we had 136 new organizations created, which is awesome to see. Looking at the trend line over the last week, it's remained pretty stable with a slight decline, if anything.
All these reports that have come from PostHog, Matt, are you happy with the? Has it all been smooth sailing with PostHog?
Yeah, it's been really good. Really happy.
All right, good.
Looking at the framework interest versus actual usage, next.js, Astro, and React seem to be our big hitters. But looking at the interest over the last week, over the last 6 months, Astro has been increasing.
Okay.
So looking at the daily active users, we've had a slight decline over the last month, although looking still pretty stable. In terms of our user locations, our most popular country still seems to be the US. For the templates chosen from the CLI, Next.js and Astro are following pretty close to each other. From the start of June, i.e. yesterday and today, we have seen an increase in Astro, although it's too early to tell just yet what the blog post has done for us.
And when are you going to change the default?
Matt or Eli, you guys want to answer that one?
So I was hoping we'd get some feedback from ssw.com being ported over, and because Tiago will be editing content on it, and if he's having a good experience, then I think that would be my signal to cut over.
Okay, I think you probably need a dozen or so test passes from SSW people. Yeah, they've actually run the template. Yeah.
I'm concerned that a lot of them would just be rubber stamped as opposed to actually using it.
Right. Okay, well, how about every single person on the team replies to Brooke with a test pass that they've actually spun it up and the template was good, you know, make a pretend blog or whatever. So at least it's completely past alpha testing.
As long as they do a deployment and then use visual editing, then it's not just installing a template. There's more to it than that.
Right. Okay.
Right. Looking at our unique cloners, our Astro starter has had a massive increase, which is fantastic to see. And everything else has also had quite a big increase across the board.
Was that increase since the Astro post or before?
There was a spike
around that
afterwards.
time. Yeah. So we had a spike on 27th and 28th, which is since most of our user base is in the US, and we posted the blog in the afternoon in Australia minus X amount of hours, that would have been midday in the US. So I think that's where all those people are coming from.
Yeah, it's
My
hard
theory.
to know. Can you see whether they've come from Matt's blog or from the Astro?
No.
This has come from GitHub, so it's just unique cloners, and we see a massive spike into the
Yeah, okay. All right. Good.
Awesome. Looking at the distribution of TinaCMS installed versions, 3.8 is still our most popular at 18K downloads, closely followed by 3.7 and 3.6, which is good to see that most people are on the latest.
Sorry, just going up. See, like the bare bones starter. Do you want to? So, has that got any Next.js in it?
That is a Next.js with
So
no UI pretty much.
Do you think it should have Next.js in the name? Because it's kind of ambiguous. But
it's really confusing if it says Next.js as well, I think. The bare bones starter has been around so that people get up and running with as minimal dependencies as possible.
Right.
I'm happy to keep it around as a bare bones, but it's not I understand there's a lot of downloads to it, but it's not a big focus because
can we put legacy on it when you go to it? I think it'd just be better to have a Next.js starter, an Astro starter, a Next.js self-hosted, and a Astro self-hosted. I think it'd be better if it was just those four.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Brooke, can we mark the bare bones as legacy, and let's rename the self-hosted one to Next.js and then add an Astro one.
So Tina bare bones Next.js starter.
No. Archive the bare bones one, and see there's another one there. Tina self-hosted.
Right.
I would just call it Tina Next.js self-hosted and Tina Astro self-hosted.
My concern with adding both of these, Adam, is just more tech debt for the team for not much other benefit to people of purely seeing how, because I would assume it's self-hosted is pretty similar regardless of framework, or I could be wrong, Matt. I think it's so close.
I think having two is good because then you're showing that they're both first-class citizens, and secondly, you can run some performance tests against the two of them. You can install them both and run some tests.
I'll mark it as a to-do. for the record on my hand, I don't think it's necessarily worth it, but I'm not strongly opposed to it.
All right. Does anyone agree with me or agree with Brooke?
Yeah, if they're different, totally different in setup between Next.js and Astro self-hosted, then sure. But if they're quite similar, then I don't think it would be necessary.
Good. Do you have an opinion on it? No. Ben? No, nothing from Ben. Jack?
Not really either way. Though bare bones, I guess, in my mind, since we are a React framework, it would just be like a Vite React starter. That's what I would expect instead of a next one. But apart from that,
No, so are you saying you'd rename Barebones to Tina React Starter?
yeah, maybe. Or
It's
maybe Vite or something like that. Vite starter or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That gives Barebones a reason, because at the moment it is Next.js, and it could be less, which would be nice. I had this similar concern with Brooke in regards to the Astro Starter, self-hosted Astro, Next.js, self-hosted Next.js. I like the names and being able to see what people are going for, but my concern would be maintenance debt. If we can have some automation in place that we update the Astro Starter, and then that goes through an automated code change to make it self-hosted, and that's the mechanism for keeping the two in sync, I'd be cool with that. It would reduce our tech debt as well.
Okay.
So we just do a spot check on the self-hosted after it goes through an upgrade process, so to speak.
Okay, that's cool. Ivan, do you agree?
I think if the bare bones becomes plain React, that'd be cool. Self-hosted, don't have a strong opinion, because self-hosted is it's really a playground for people. Like, you should be pretty confident in your skills if you are picking up the self-hosted. So it's really just here is a template, and then you shoehorn whatever you need in it.
Okay. All right. Let's not
Different
do
target
the
audience.
extra self-hosted then. But let's rename the bare bones to React. Happy with that, Brooke? Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Another alternative would be to just move the self-hosted to Astro instead of Next, if that's going to be our main framework.
Astro is a lot less friendly to non-static websites. Next.js still supports a lot more backend type things, easier.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a better platform if you're trying to do something more complicated. But that's just my personal take on it.
Yep. Let's just leave it. Yep. All good. Let's keep going.
You want to continue on, Brooke? I'll pass it to Ivan for the epics.
Alrighty, so we have finally finished the Branch Away Media Epic, which took a long time, and it's great to see that it's now done. Yeah, congrats to Eli and it to myself. That's great to see. With the V4 stuff, we have started planning it out. We haven't completed any cards, but Jack has done a very good first pass in the documentation that will enable this to happen very well. And we've started reshuffling the packages into the new shape. So that's a good solid start for the team to build upon. Then with the multi-repo support, we are still waiting for the video from Josh. Now it's with Barjat, so it should be on our channel shortly where you can check it out. So that's great to see. Then we can close off this epic, and yeah, we'll support the multi-repo officially, and we'll have all the support and documentation in place, which is fantastic. With the auth migration, Kaha is chipping away at this epic. It's proven to be a bit more difficult than we initially thought. So I've done a few spikes and we keep doing them. We are at a point where we have a couple of almost working POCs. So that's good progress. Soon we should be able to make some actionable decisions on that. With the CLI, it was swarmed by Brooke, Josh, and Isaac. So it's progressing very well. We've done 2 out of 9 tasks this week. We've got a decent scaffolding and the auth in place. So yeah, we just need to keep chipping away at it. which is good progress. For the ability for users to delete their own accounts, we now got some UI. We still have some follow-up tasks to make this process fully automatic in the coming weeks, but we are past the halfway point, which is good to see. With the reduction of the production 500 noise, Eli has been chipping away at that, and we see the decrease. It's not as large as we expected, but it's still great progress towards that end. So we've progressed at Epic by 1 or 2 cards this sprint, and we'll keep going with it. For the
it's kind of incredible that the media management, which was our focus, didn't get any love, which is fine.
Media management, get into it. So with the media management, we needed to finish the branch aware stuff first and roll it out before we can finish off the remaining tasks on the media management Epic. So now we can go over those items and likely just close them off because it's currently in a good spot. But before we could see the finalized version of whatever we were building, we couldn't really address those issues. So that's something that will be either closed or finished shortly.
Yeah, so we did do work on the media manager. It was just under the branch aware Epic.
Yeah. Different parts of the same issue.
All right, cool.
And with the improvement of the database performance, we did a bit of work on that this sprint. We completed one card, I believe that was Chloe's card, to make sure that we are iterating stuff properly to make it a bit faster for some of the deletes in the data layer. All up, doing pretty well, progressing a lot of the epics, finishing some epics. Great to see. Good work, team.
Thank you.
Now, within R&D, we got 2 distinct items here. So the first one is the work on the Astra templates. Visual editing that Matt's done is a pretty novel piece of work. We're still iterating on that. It's experimental, but it's very cool. And with the TinaCMS V4, we are trying to use a lot of very new concept of the TinaCMS space. And that's why this work is a bit experimental, but it's looking very good. I did a first pass on the documentation and suggested approaches, and it's looking very promising to solve a lot of the issues we are currently having. Cool. With the AI tools, it's pretty much the same across the board. We've got a new version of Claude this week, so now everyone's using Opus 4.8. It's gotten pretty generally positive feedback from the team. It seems to be using less tokens and seems to be more coherent. So it completes the tasks easier and does make as many mistakes, which is good to see. Still, myself, Isaac, and Brooke are hitting the limits. Everyone else seems to be fine, but a lot of people are still on higher tier pack subscription than us. So that's that. For the Copilot stats, the Copilot has correctly identified that the main issue completed this sprint was the branch aware media. That was one of our sprint goals. So yeah, that was entirely correct on the Copilot's part. Now to the Tiger stats. There are a few different useful bits of information here and there. So the first one is that the Astro framework is driving a lot of growth. We've noticed from our starters and from our community engagement that we discussed before that Astro was a very good choice for us to invest in. It's good to see. Then in the overview, it correctly pointed out that the branch where media epic is finished, and that's also fantastic to see. And in the not insights. It pointed out that the auth migration is proven to be a little bit more complex than we initially anticipated, and it might take a while longer until we can fully migrate to WorkOS. That's about all the actually useful insights from me. So I'm gonna give it back to you, Eli.
Was there anything good in the hard truths or elephants in the room or anything?
Not that I know of. So the user metric is declining. It's basically that they are fluctuating because of the nature of the CMS. We don't really have a stable user base. It kind of moves back and forth. With the content API 500s, it's the same issue. So until we address that epic, it will still be there. It's not that we're not working on it. It's just that it's going to take a bit of time before it is stable.
Right.
And the second section, elephant in the room, client work is disrupting. Well, we can't do anything about that. We need the money for the company. So retrospective not recorded. Yeah, that's a personal preference of the team. So that's fine. And this is the same thing about the user metrics, again, in a different section.
Right.
So I don't see it as useful, that's all.
Do you actually mention it in the recording? We are not going to do the retrospective now. We'll do it later.
Yeah, so I mentioned it, and I mentioned the reason why, and Clanker disagrees with me, but
right. Yeah. What if you just don't mention it at all, just go straight past it?
Then it slams you very hard, like much harder than this. So
does it? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that's not an option.
Marks if you do that.
You're trying to say the right thing so you don't get scolded by AI.
I'm just trying to give it something actionable to work with, because otherwise it hones in on this being a problem, which is, not ideal.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
That's good.
Moving on to the retrospective. Car, did you want to go for this?
Yep, I can go through this. So sprint retrospective, what went well this sprint? It was awesome to see that we were swarming on the blog for Astro and the Astro starter. We also got an honorable mention in the Astro main newsletter, which is really, really cool to see. The stats look very good on the Astro starter, so we had a large increase in the amount of clones we had on the Astro starter this sprint, which is also really, really good. We also we're done with the branch aware epic. It was a very long slog to get this one completed, but as you could see in the epics update, yes, we've gotten that one completed fully, so that's really good. And also a shout out to Brooke for being the CLI lead developer on the that one. That was really good. Also, we've also made some progress towards the account deletion, which has also been headed up by Brooke. Lots of users were wanting this feature, and having to manually manage that had was quite cumbersome. So it's good to have progress on this front. What didn't go so well? Well, we're missing our product owner, Matt, to client work. So yeah, that's a bit of a down point, but it's good to see that client work is on the rise. Ivan also mentioned that the Astro stuff was cool, but was a bit of a disruption this sprint. So lots of little side quests, as we've kind of all mentioned as well. Those are lots of side quests we were undertaking across the team. And improvements, we weren't able to identify any improvements for next sprint this retro.
Well, one improvement, if that editorial workflow video now, that's going to be a good one. And I also think you may as well put the cleanup of the starters. I think that little suggestion to rename bare bones to React makes total sense.
Awesome.
What? Yeah. Anything else? Moving on to the forecast. The 110 sprint forecast. So for our sprint goals, we have rolling out branch aware to all users. We're going to do some testing with Ivan's new changes for the editorial workflow, and once that's looking all good, we will enable that for everybody. And we have the two main epics, V4 CLI, complete at least one PBI on them.
So with the V4, that's Jack. Is anyone helping him?
No. Jack, do you want to speak to that?
I am.
Yeah, Ivan is.
Oh, okay. But like actual work, are you working on that, Ivan?
I'm doing the sanity checks, and then we are cross-referencing essentially what needs to happen, because we don't want to silo this work. And
Right.
Yeah. No, we're bouncing off each other just to make sure we're, one of us, if I'm not doing the right thing, Yvonne picks it up and vice versa. So it's been going good so far.
And who's working on the CLI? Oh, Isaac, are you?
Be Josh, Brock, and I.
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Gert, are you still working that video?
What video?
The video in the Teams chat. No.
There's
No.
lots of videos in the team chat. Can you be more specific?
All right. I'll take it offline then.
Okay.
Right. Cool. So for the backlog for the next sprint, he wants to note, continuing the work from last sprint, Jack on scaffolding the new packages for the V4, and for the CLI, implementing the auth command. Brooke and Josh are working on that, and Isaac is working on implementing the org command. Cool. And you can see we've got some AI tasks there in the backlog for people to jump at too. Cool. So for the AI stats, Copilot said that branch aware media was one of our sprint goals. So was one of the main items. So it is one of our sprint goals. Pretty correct on that one. Copilot's been doing well on its estimations so far. So good work on that. Cool. Yeah. So thank you all for attending. This meeting will be uploaded to the TinaCMS YouTube channel under the Sprint Summaries playlist. Hope you enjoyed. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.